You're watching 38IZ Videos, Phoenix's only classic music video channel. We're going to speak. Our guest musician today is none other than James Kottak, drummer for a band called Kingdom Come. Those of you who grew up in the late 80s in the hard rock scene, you're very well familiar with this band. They're actually 4/5 of the lineup are reuniting for a 30th anniversary tour of their debut record from 1988, Kingdom Come's self-titled album. And they're coming to town on Sunday, October 7th at BLK Live in Scottsdale. We'll go a little more into ticket information, but right now we want to get started. So without further ado, via Skype, from Kingdom Come, drummer Mr. James Kottak. James, how are you doing?
And the crowd goes wild. Ah! How you doing, Val?
Oh, doing good. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to this. James, get started. The word went out this year, earlier in the summer, that 4/5 of a band called Kingdom Come, you guys are reuniting for a 30th anniversary tour of that debut album. And give us a little bit, what planted the seed for this reunion of sorts?
Well, actually, back in 2008, I originally approached our original singer, Lenny, and he lives in Hamburg. And as you know, I was the drummer for the Scorpions for 21 years. So anytime I was in Hamburg, I would look up Lenny. We'd get together for some tea and cake, and we'd visit. And I said, Lenny, let's do this, man, because Scorpions is planning their farewell tour starting in 2010. And so we did do the farewell tour and the album. And then 2013, Lenny flew over. We had the band together. We were all ready to go. And we rehearsed. We had shows booked. And then I got a call from the Scorpion camp. They go, James, you know what? We decided not to say farewell. We're going to do another album, another world tour. So I had to put the Kingdom Come on the back burner, as well as my solo project, Kottak, which I've got 4 albums out. And I had a couple other projects going because my allegiance was with Scorpions and they're still great friends of mine. So I had to put that on the back burner. Fast forward to now, I took like the last year and a half off to really, for health reasons and to get my ass in gear. And I was just burnt out, truthfully, and I needed a break. So here we are, 2018 in January. Lenny, though, the original singer, decided he's retired. He doesn't want to do it. So I go, that's a problem. But the 4 of us, myself, Johnny B. Frank on bass, Danny Stagg on guitar, Rick Starr on guitar, we all committed years ago to do this. And coincidentally, this is the 30th anniversary of our debut album. So we got together, and then we go, need a singer. So the obvious choice was Keith St. John, who sang with Montrose, Lynch Mob, to name a few. And I actually wanted him for my Wild Horses project back in 1990 and 91. And we've stayed friends all these years, and he's just an excellent singer. So all the pieces of the puzzle are there. We're one. We click. We're like really good friends. And here we are, man. We've been rehearsing our butts off, and things are going great.
Yeah, to that. Yeah, I was going to ask about the rehearsals. Some of that, the vocals of Lenny Wolf, those are not easy songs to sing, I imagine. So how is Keith holding up on that?
Dude, I'll tell you what. He's one of the only guys that can deliver this, and he's come through like a knight in shining armor. He's just like killing it, dude. And we've been stair-stepping. We started slow about 3-4 weeks ago, and the band, and then Keith came in, and we're just now, dude, we're getting close to warp speed. Come this next Thursday, this time we're going to be in Seattle, and we're going to be kicking butt in a great club. And there's so many killer clubs, and we're coming to Phoenix.
Okay, so on that, let's go back to now 1987 when the original Kingdom Come formed. What were the circumstances? And as you know, hard rock, 80s hard rock was at a peak at that point. So you guys came in. The timing was pretty ripe for you guys.
Well, yeah, it was. It was an interesting time because the 80s were just full of, like, if you want to call them hair metal bands, right. This and that. And there was so many great bands from Motley Crue to Ozzy Osbourne, Scorpions. That's just one after another. And Kingdom Come, we came along and we were kind of the odd band out because we were hard rock, but we were kind of blues oriented. And I wouldn't consider us a hair metal band. We weren't metal. And but it's somehow or another, the song Get It On got leaked to the radio in February of 87. February of 88. And man, boom, we were off to the races. It was just a really incredible time. And we were fortunate enough to land on the Monsters of Rock tour, which is Kingdom Come opening, Metallica second, which was exciting watching Metallica explode.
Right.
Dokken, then Scorpions, then Van Halen. So it was really an interesting, exciting time and a pivotal point in my career as well as the other Kingdom Come guys.
And was it just coincidence that and the first album stirred a little controversy at least in rock circles about you guys sounding like Led Zeppelin, quote unquote, and around that time I believe Robert Plant had released a solo record called Now and Zen. So
right,
of course, there was a lot of flack that you guys received at that point. How did you guys react to the criticism? Did you feel it just wasn't justified, or just your opinions on that?
Dude, I've always said from day one, if you're going to be compared to somebody, be compared to the greatest rock band in the history of the world is like, oh, I'll take it, man. I loved it. Unfortunately, there was one or two guys in our camp that didn't embrace it, right. And they said, well, we're. I'm like, oh no, guys, man, this is awesome. And unfortunately, the press, you'll say something in being facetious or what's the word? Like not condescending, you'll say something
derogatory.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll say something they say, well, what do you think about the Led Zeppelin comparison? And you say, well, I never heard of Led Zeppelin. Like you're being tongue in cheek, right. But that doesn't come across in print. So the press had a heyday with that a couple times, and somebody in our camp said that, and but I was always, dude, bring it on, man. And I've been fortunate to meet Robert Plant a few times over the years. And Jimmy Page came to a couple Scorpion shows in London. And, it was kind of like almost like we laugh about it now. At the time, Robert was really,
right.
Robert Plant was really not real happy about it. But
one thing, and I saw Kingdom Come at that time. It was, I love the record myself. It was just straight ahead rock and roll. I mean, I didn't really even think of the Zeppelin comparisons that much until people really brought it up. But one thing that people don't talk about is you guys really delivered live. I mean, your shows were a blast. I mean, you guys took the music seriously, but you didn't take yourselves seriously. And I'm going to tell a little story that Phoenix involves Phoenix. And I think you'll remember it, but we'll go a little later into that.
Halloween.
You knew, yes. Halloween night, 1988, at the Arizona State Fair. An opening act called Ghost Town, I believe, came out. And fooled the crowd. You guys had us going, and we all bought it. Essentially, we thought you were a opening act, and you fooled us. You were in ghost costumes, blankets, and all that. A lot of fun.
Well, yeah, and what was funny, I think we had our tour manager come out and announce over the PA, say, "We're really sorry to say, Kingdom Come is going to be late. They're stuck in an elevator in the hotel. The elevator broke down. But in the meantime, we have the band The Ghosts."
Right.
And we put Ghost logo on the drum head. We all came out. I was playing guitar, and it was terrible. And then we took the Ghost costumes off, and the crowd went wild. That was fun.
We fell for it hook, line, and sinker. So we got to be honest on that. But it was a blast. And you guys delivered, and unfortunately, I don't hear a lot of people talking about when Kingdom Come played live. I mean, it was amazing, like I said, and one of the better bands of the era.
Well, I appreciate that greatly, and I have to say now we're even better than we were then because we collectively between me, Johnny, Danny, and Rick, we have 120 years of experience on stage and performing and recording and albums. And I'll tell you what, man, it's better than ever. And whoever said success is sweeter the second time around was not joking, because we're just having a blast. And when people always ask me, "Hey James, what's the secret to having a great band?" And I will say from Scorpions and from Rudolf Schenker, Rudolf always said in press conferences, "Hey, you know what? We're friends. Yeah. We're traveling around the world as friends." And same with Kingdom Come. We just click. We pick up where we left off. We are just really good buddies. And then add Keith St. John to the mix, and there's 5 guys. We go out to dinner, we hang out, we goof off, and it just clicks.
Yeah, the first time I saw you guys was opening for the Scorpions, August 1988, their Savage Amusement Tour. And
that's right.
And you guys did a fantastic job. And then, of course, the special Halloween show you guys did. And a third time, I believe, in '89, you guys headlined and Warrant opened the show. So, but every single time, and I was always impressed with you guys live. You really... the fans coming on October 7th for the new tour, I think they'll be very, very surprised.
Well, I'm super excited. Phoenix has always been a great rock town, and Scorpions, we played there a gazillion times. I played there with Kingdom Come, and I played there with Wild Horses, and also, my good friend Mick Brown from Dokken lives there, and there's all kinds of great friends, and Alice, and it's just it's just a great rock town. I've always enjoyed playing Phoenix.
Yeah, going into a little bit into the with the Scorpions, talk about coming full circle. I mean, hell, you tour with them, and then you end up in the band, a few years later. I mean, what a great experience, I imagine.
You know what? It's like I still have to pinch myself. Like I was fortunate to have 21 years with the guys, and it was one of those stories where we became friends. Kingdom Come and Scorpions were label mates.
Right.
And so we always stayed in the same hotels, and we became friends. And, we had a lot of days off on Monsters of Rock tour. And so we'd hang out, we'd go out to bars and goof off and get stupid. And then the Scorpions came to L.A. and to do the Crazy World album, which had Wind of Change on it.
Right.
And I'd go to the studio and hang out because Keith Olsen did the second Kingdom Come album. And I'd go over and hang out with the boys. And then I did Macaulay Schenker, the third album, with Michael Schenker. And, rock and roll is a very small community. And so I'm very fortunate to get the call from the guys that said, hey, you want to come over and have a play? And next thing you know, I'm in Hanover. Next thing you know, we're on tour. And next thing you know, here we are now. So I'm very fortunate, very grateful to, and I'm very proud to say I'm still really good friends with the guys. And we just saw them here in L.A., down in here in L.A., and we went to the show about 2 weeks ago. Me and the Kingdom Comes and our girls went and stuff. And I'll tell you what, man, they were great.
Good.
They were really good, and it was good to catch up with the guys and the crew.
Good to hear. Just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with James Kottak. He's the drummer for a band called Kingdom Come. And Kingdom Come will be coming to town on Sunday, October 7th at BLK Live in Scottsdale. Tickets are available right now at blk.com. Get the word out right now, James.
I heard that's a very nice venue.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool. They're bringing a lot of their rock and roll over there, so they got the right idea.
Phoenix is a rock town.
Yeah. And go back to, so now to go forward a little bit, the second album called In Your Face, there's some great songs on there too. And I noticed that the Zeppelin comparisons started diminishing by that point. And give us a little bit of the making of that record, and what are your thoughts of it today?
Well, several of the songs on In Your Face were rejects from the first album because we only had room for 10 songs on the first album. Mm-hmm. Bob Rock was the producer, and he said, keep it to 10 because we had 12, 14 songs we wanted to do. So a few of those songs were there. And on the second album also, it was more of a collective band effort. We co-wrote on almost every single song, myself and the other guys. And we did that with Keith Olsen. And I'll tell you, we were just evolving as a band, and as songs evolve, and we weren't all this. We didn't feel like, we got to do Zeppelin influence kind of stuff. It was just the songs that came out. And for this upcoming tour, we're doing pretty much every song off the first album, and then we're probably hitting about 5 songs off the second album. Good. And of course, we're gonna have a couple of surprises. Blah blah blah.
Good to hear. Yeah.
And so we're just killing it, man.
One song on that record, if I can, my favorite on In Your Face was a song called Gotta Go. Really a nice change lyrically for Lenny Wolf, and a song with quite a bit of depth.
Well, thank you so much.
You co-wrote that with him, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually wrote probably 80% of the lyrics on that song. Oh. And it came from, we were riding on the tour bus one day, and myself and I think Rick, we were in the back lounge, and we watched Platoon, mm-hmm. Hamburger Hill, and what's the other one with Charlie Sheen? Dang it. It was like 3 Vietnam movies in a row, mm-hmm. and I was like, wow, man. And that's where the lyric influence came from. And it was, thank you very much. I really appreciate the compliment.
Yeah. And I mean, that song had single written all over it, and rock radio played it a little bit here, but not as much as they should have, to my thinking.
Well, thank you. And I really believe In Your Face was kind of an overlooked album. It's very underestimated. But, the musical climate at the time had changed. And there was this little band called Guns N' Roses that came along, and everything was all about Guns N' Roses, and but that rightfully so, man. They killed it, man. They're still killing it. But, things change.
So you seem to be very diplomatic about that, about the times. I mean, unfortunately, we do talk to some artists who they still have a little bit of resentment towards the way the end of the decade concluded. But you seem very, very diplomatic about it, and proud of what you guys did.
Well, I'm very proud, and it is what it is. You can't change evolution. And soon after the whole Guns N' Roses thing, they imploded, and here comes grunge and Nirvana and the whole grunge movement. And I mean, all of my I was a ghost drummer and played on just tons of albums around LA. That was how I made my bread and butter when I wasn't touring. And that all completely dried up because all the labels all said, "When we got to sign every band that sounds like a garage trash band that sounds like Nirvana." And it was a ghost town around here for about a couple of years. And then, and I did my Scorpion thing. And the 90s was really tough on rock.
Right.
Hold on one second.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I left my power cable in the other room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But, it is what it is. And, things come around and they go around. And look, who knew Kiss would be one of the biggest bands in the world now? And who knew that, who knew what's going on around here? It's like rock is bigger than ever, and it is what it is, man. And I'm just thankful, to still be playing and be involved in rock and roll because it's a lifestyle and it's my life. I've done nothing but play rock and roll, man. So, I'm grateful and thankful, and here we are.
So let's go back to think of it. James Kottak as a teenager. What was your first album you ever bought, your recollection, and the first concert you ever attended?
Well, first concert I ever attended was ZZ Top. I was 12 years old. It was the Fandango tour, and it was insane. And the first albums, I had an older brother, and he collected 8-track tapes. I'm not sure really if he paid for them, but we had Led Zeppelin 4. We had Jimi Hendrix smash hits. We had Sly and the Family Stone hits. But the album that really kicked my ass this is when I was like 10, 11 years old, just starting out, was Grand Funk Railroad live album.
Right. And
that's where I learned how to really play drums. And then, I had some greatest hits things. I had James Brown greatest hits. And as we went on, I just kept playing and playing. I was just manic about drums. And as a teenager, I mean, from age 15, I did my first U.S. tour. And I just was obsessed with rock and roll and drums. And, I was in a high school band. I played trumpet for like 12 years. And I was just everything music. I was in the choir. I was that guy. Right. And then I just never looked back, man. I just always wanted to play drums. I wanted to be in a band. And also that comes from sports because I played a lot of sports, baseball and basketball. And when you're in baseball and basketball, you're on a team and you're playing with other guys. And in basketball, there's 5 guys. In a rock band, there's 5 guys. Very right. Similar. And it just all kind of happened and just evolved. And here we are today. And I'm just very lucky and very thankful.
What are some of your favorite songs to play live from Kingdom Come?
Dude, of course, I love Shout It Out,
Right.
which I don't want to give it away, but that's one of my favorite songs. And we have a song called Pushing Hard, which is bitchin'. And I can't really say there's a favorite, but right. I really like them all, but that's 2 of my tops.
Yeah, Shout It Out was the opener when I saw you guys at that time in '88. So it's an anthemic, fun song. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Man, you know your stuff.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So can we expect maybe a new song or 2 from the current incarnation of the band?
Well, you know
down
what?
The road?
We're taking it very slow, maybe down the road, but right now what we're doing is we're reconnecting with guys like yourself and journalists and this one and TV and radio and internet and everything. But most important, what we're doing is we're coming out to do the 6-week run to reconnect with our friends and family and our fans and really get a feel of what's going on out there and the vibe. And when you get into these rooms and play, whether it's a theater or a club or whatever, and you get feedback, and you're basically, after a few weeks, we're going to know exactly the next move to make. But we for sure have shows coming in 2019, some festivals and this. And we plan a little jaunt over to England and Europe. And we've got some offers from Japan and South America. So things are kind of moving faster than we expected. But we're taking it slow on our end.
Right.
So we're really being careful and planning what we're going to do.
So who are some of the favorite bands of your contemporaries? Who were some of your favorites? Besides Guns N' Roses, what are the ones did you personally just enjoy either playing with or hearing?
Well, you know what? From the 80s, of course, I always loved Motley Crue, Ozzy, and I was always a Bon Jovi fan. When you see Bon Jovi live, it makes sense because a lot of people go, Bon Jovi. No, man, you see him live. I've seen him in Germany a couple times. We opened for him in Japan. And I saw him over here. It's just, great rock and roll. It's a party, and it's wonderful. And of course, I love Metallica. I've seen them so many times, and gosh, I mean, I could go down the list. Hey, this I told you, did I tell you? Yeah, we went down to see the Scorpions just like a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. That was awesome. And like Saturday, we're going to go see the Warrant Boys. They're playing up the street at the Canyon, at the club up the street. And so we'll reconnect with them. We've remained friends, and as you know, myself and Rick Steyer, we were in Warrant I was in the band for a couple of years. We did the Ultraphobic album. And then Rick went on and stayed in the band for 8 years. So they're really good friends. And it's, you kind of gravitate towards people who are like cool and friends. And, that's got a lot to do with it.
And when the first album came out, it was interesting because you guys, wow, to have your first tour being the Van Halen's Monsters of Rock, we were talking about it earlier, that's not bad for somebody who has a debut album out.
Dude, it was insanity because, back in 1988, news traveled much slower. Hit Parader and Circus and Kerrang and Metal Edge. Those magazines came out like once every month or once every 2 weeks. And we were in England from February through May. So, our manager would call and go, hey, guys, you know what? Your album's going to explode. They're moving the release date up and we're shipping like 600,000. It's shipped gold. We're like on, what? We didn't really know what that meant.
Right.
Then he goes, hey, man, we got this tour getting you guys on. It looks pretty good. It's going to be a big tour, but I don't want to tell you too much now. And then finally, early May rolls around and we read in a magazine. We saw Kingdom Come on Monsters of Rock. So we got back here. We get off the plane. The cars pick us up. Our manager and the assistants present us with gold records. Right there, we're like going, oh, my God. Then we're told, oh, by the way, you're going on the Monsters of Rock tour, Van Halen, Scorpions, Metallica, and Doc. And we're like, what? First show Kingdom Come ever does is in Alpine Valley. We were there 3 days, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 40,000 people each day. Yeah, we went on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was packed. And it was just like surreal. We had no idea what we were getting into. And that tour went on for 32 or 33 stadium tours and was just it was just like, wow. I'm still wowed over it.
Any bands that you would have loved to tour with, even whether today or back then, that you would love to tour but you didn't get to for whatever reason?
I always wanted to. I always tried to put. I mentioned the Scorpions. It'd be great, Scorpions, Def Leppard. But then now it'd be great, Kingdom Come, Def Leppard. So we have our sights on much bigger things than just cruising along, playing wherever. We want to get back to where we were from, and we have some festivals offered to us and some pretty good stuff. So. We're just patient, and we're in for the long run, and a lot can happen over the next few years.
Right. Well, sounds good. Just a reminder, we just tuned in. We're speaking with James Kottak, drummer for a band called Kingdom Come, and Kingdom Come will be in town on Sunday, October 7th, at BLK Live in Scottsdale. Tickets are available at blk.com. And to wind down things, you're talking about new music, so that's tentative. You guys never say never, and. What else? So you're going to be covering the going into 2019 for this tour then?
I'm sorry again.
You'll be coming in. The tour will go into 2019. You were saying, correct?
Yeah, like I said, we're doing this 6 week run because it goes all the way from Seattle. We're going all the way up to over to Boston and everywhere in between to reconnect. And we wanted to cover as much ground as possible, just to kind of like get the word out and play as many states as possible. And 2019 is shaping up to be pretty cool. We have some stuff planned for February and also in May, and we'll see. The feedback is I'm overwhelmed at the feedback we're getting. I mean, just like, wow, the interviews just don't end, and I'm so thankful. And thank you, Val, for your time, which is awesome.
Oh,
and
pleasure to have you.
We didn't know what to expect. We thought, well, Kingdom Come who? But it's shaping up to be really much more than we expected. So we're going to keep everything crossed for 2019.
Cool. All right, James, everybody let you go. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll let you go. Before you go, why don't you give us a little story on we're going to play Get It On right now, actually, right after this interview.
Awesome.
And what are your recollections of the video, the making of the video? And I imagine, like I said, it was a pretty exciting time for you.
It certainly was. I first heard that song. I got when I went to audition with Lenny. I got a tape with 4 songs on it, and it was "Get It On," "What Love Can Be," "17," and something else. But fast forward to doing the video shoot, it was like, oh, well, what's going to go on here? I'd never done a big time rock and roll video. And we went there in this big warehouse. There's all these crew people everywhere. This massive set, and I think that video cost like $110,000, and I was like going, wow. And we did it, and then then it started on an MTV, and it was on in heavy rotation, and it was on and MTV. That means it was on every 30 minutes, and we were like, whoa. So that was like a real trippy thing. This is a funny story. We left the video shoot, and all five of us, for some reason, were in the car, and we were driving down Sunset Strip, and we had the radio on. The first time we ever heard "Get It On" the radio, we were driving down Sunset, the five of us in a car. I swear to God, I can't make this up. And it came on, and we all just flipped out. We were in a convertible, had the sound blasted, and we were just like five little kids just freaking out. It was phenomenal. So that was a banner day.
Yeah. So with that, thank you so much, James. We'll look forward to seeing Kingdom Come Sunday, October 7th at BLK Live, and we're looking forward to spreading the word on the show. It'll be a lot of fun.
Be there, Val.
So with that,
thank you so much for your time, and it's great to have a positive interview, and great. I look forward to meeting you, hopefully, and we'll see everybody there. And remember, rock and roll forever.
So with that, here's Kingdom Come, the song "Get It On" from the Kingdom Come debut album from 1988 on 38IZ Videos. Enjoy.